biology, paper 1, okay? Then biology, paper 2, and paper 3, okay? In O level, they were just 2 papers, paper 1 and 2. But here there are 3 papers. Now, with the paper 1, it is made up of 40 objective questions, okay?
Yes.
In O level, you did 3, you did 30 objective
Yes.
questions.
30
But here they are 40 objective questions.
objectives.
And they are hot. They are not easy. I assure you, they are hot. Okay? And by the
Yeah.
that's why whenever I'm teaching science, whenever I'm teaching biology, I try to dig deep. I try to go deep. Because these objective questions, they are always deep. You get some biology paper and see. The objective
Well,
questions, they dig deep. Okay?
yeah.
Leave alone these senior 5 papers, but senior 6 papers. Mocks especially, you name. The objective questions always require some deep understanding of biology concepts. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's why whenever I'm teaching, I usually go deep, so that students are able to answer those objective questions. Then away from objective questions, we have 6 structured numbers. Okay? Now these ones, they are short essay questions. 6 of them. 41, 42, 43, 5, and up to 46. Now, the logic with this, here you are given structured questions, but you are required to, actually I've ever told you this even in O-level. You are required to read a question, plan on how to write your answers, and present your answers to the best of your knowledge. That there is a lot of planning here. That if you are given, let's say, you are given 3 lines, then the one who gave you these 3 lines understands better that they are enough. So for you, when you write, you write, and you feel like you have more answers, and you write some here, then if you find somebody who is just tired, he won't mark this. Okay? So you must be, before you
Yeah.
write anything, always first plan on how to answer so that your answers fit in the space provided. Then with paper 2, it is made up of 7 questions. Are they 7 or they are 6? With from 1 up to 6. Now, this number 1, it carries 40 marks. Can you imagine just one number carrying 40 marks?
They are all compulsory.
No, not the no 6 numbers. They are not. The instruction is number 1 is compulsory. Okay, you're supposed to do number 1, but of the 6, do just 3. Okay, and each
Yeah.
takes 20 marks. Okay,
Yeah.
now when you get these 20 plus the 40 here, that is 100. But number 1 is compulsory. Is that okay?
Yes.
Now you may feel like it is just graph work, but these 40 marks, my friend, my dear, to get these 40 marks,
Mm-hmm.
you must be good. You must have analytical skills, and presentation must be good to get these 40 marks. What is it? What is that number 1? It is just, maybe let me go to a new slide where I can easily write. Now, it is graph work, okay? Actually, I can say it is data analysis and presentation. Okay? Where you are given a graph or you are given data and you are supposed to analyze that data and present and give scientific conclusions based on the data given. Now, it can be, now graphs are of three types. These numbers, this data can be of three types, where in one type, they will give you data, okay? And then you plot a graph, like how you did in O level, and then you analyze the results that you've gotten, okay? But now this is more of O level. This one, it is more of O level, where there is plotting, just plotting a graph. This is more of O level. That it is rare to get such a question where you are given data and you plot a graph. It is rare to get such a question, but the analytical skills, the plotting, the you must be having those skills. Okay. Then another way
Yeah.
is, here you are given a graph. This is just a plotted graph. Like they might plot for you a bar graph, they might plot for you a line graph or any other graph. And then you are required to analyze, study the graph, analyze that graph, and you attempt questions basing on the information given from the graph. And this is the most common one. This one is common. Okay? You should have analytical skills. You should be able to describe changes. You should be able to describe the trend. You should be able to describe anything basing on the graph that is given. Okay? And then
Yeah.
you draw conclusions, you compare, and with comparing, you give differences and similarities. Now, here we don't use a table. When you are giving your differences, don't use a table. Write in a descriptive way. And then you should be able to explain, give the science for the observed trend. Okay? Basing on what you have seen, basing on the graph that has been given. Then you can also be tasked to suggest, postulate what may happen from the graph. You can be tasked to suggest what may happen. Maybe if time was increased for more 2 hours or 3 hours or 1 year, depending on the graph, or suggest what may happen if this experiment is, if temperature is increased to maybe 40 degrees Celsius, 100, depending. And to suggest, obviously, you must know the science behind. So basing on the science, then you'll be able to suggest. Then another form of this, they might, on top of data graph, they might give you values or figures. Okay? Now these figures, they are not for plotting, not for plotting, but they are just figures, and you have to analyze the figures, okay, to draw
Yeah.
conclusions. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes. So basing on the figures, you can draw conclusion, describe the relationship between this and this, A and B. Describe the changes in A and B. And then after that, then explain the relationship. You must give the science, okay, behind that, behind the observed changes. Now that is the explanation. And then from after explaining, you can suggest, okay, you can suggest You can give the differences, and so on, and so on, and so on. Now, all that, this one, any can come. This, and this, any can come. It takes the 40 marks. And that is number one. Okay? You should be in position to at least get 30 out of 40. At least you should get 30 out of 40. That is if you want to be in a good grade. Then with from 2 to 6, now these ones, they are just
Yeah.
any essay numbers from any of the 16 biology topics. Any of the biology topics. And with these questions, they are long essay questions where you are not limited at all. You are not limited at all. You just write the science. As long as you feel this is the science, write. And when we are marking, we mark the science. Now, most of the students, instead of writing science, they write English. Now here we don't focus on the English. We write science. Okay? So as
Yeah.
long as you are writing science, here no limit. You can write on 2 booklets, you can write on 3 booklets, but as long as what you are writing is science, then we shall always mark. Okay? And you are supposed to do 3 out of these 5 questions. So you do 3 and leave 2. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Any question?
Not. No.
Not yet. Now, with paper 3, now this is practical. Now with practical, it also has 3 numbers. Are they 3 or they are 2? I think they are 2. And the first one, it is dissection, of course. Okay? Then the other one is physiology. And this dissection, it is animals. And the other one, it can be plant or it can be, but it is physiology. Now, with the dissection, this one carries most marks, more marks. You can deal with mammals. You can dissect a mammal, and under mammals, let me first moisten my hands so that I can write on the keyboard. Okay, I hope they are now moist. I'll write well. So, with dissection, you can deal with mammals. It is capital M. Okay? And under mammals, we usually dissect a rat. Or you can deal with amphibians. And with amphibians, we deal with a toad. Or you can say a frog. Now, also, you can also, if not that, you can deal with an insect. In other words, we study these
Dissect.
2 classes, and under insects we usually deal with a cockroach. Okay? Now, what do you need to know under this? You need to know their classification. You must classify each. You must be able to classify. Okay? Classification of each, right from the kingdom up to at least. Okay, the whole of it. This is not too much. Okay? Then from classification, you need to know the ecology. At least the ecology of these organisms. Okay? their habitats, and how they are adapted to their habitats. Then, after the ecology, you need to know the morphology, the external structures. The external structures, okay? The structures which are observed, which are seen with your eyes, and how these structures are adapted for this organism to survive in its habitat, in its ecology. Okay? For all these three. Then, right from the external, now you know that, now you study the internal, the anatomy. Anatomy. The internal structures. Okay? And usually, we base on, okay, the internal structures, you dissect, you go inside, you see how the muscles are arranged, you see how the structures in the internal structures, how they are arranged, how they are, you be able to draw. Now I'm going to talk about drawing. Now from anatomy, then you talk about the physiology, the systems, the circulatory system of these ones, the nervous system of these organisms. You should be able to draw the blood vessels that drain, maybe the head region, that drain the trunk region, in a toad, in a rat. Okay? Then after physiology, maybe you can also draw the blood vessels that supply. So all that, they are the systems, the different systems. You need to know how to deal with for all these two, the rat, the toad, and the cockroach. Okay?
Yeah.
Now after that, drawing. Now this is just we have been emphasizing this right from on. You need to know how to draw, and the drawing has never changed. TDL man. Okay? TD
Yes.
TDL man. So as long as you remember this, then it has never changed. You should write your title, and the title is gotten from the question. Usually questions, they are usually long enough. Okay? Like
Yeah.
imagine a question covering almost half a page. And so that will be your title. You get your title from a question. Then drawing. The lines should be continuous. Now here, in O level we might kill one eye and mark something. But here, once you draw a structure that is not in the question, that is not needed, then you don't get any marks for drawing.
What?
Once you draw a structure that is not needed, maybe let me say, the question wants you to draw the structures, the external structures of the specimen A, and a specimen A is maybe a rat, that are anterior to the eyes. Okay?
Yeah.
And then for in your drawing you include ears, you include your eyes, you include your ears. Then you won't get any mark for drawing, because ears are not anterior to the eyes. Okay? So in other words, here you should follow the question, you should read the question and know what the question wants. If it takes reading a question 5 times, read the question 5 times so that you don't mess up. Okay? 2, there is labeling. Now, in O level we could kill an eye, but here, once, let's say, we say draw structures that are posterior, sorry, that are anterior to the eye of the specimen, okay? And you draw the ears. Okay, they might give you some marks for drawing, but if you label it, now that one becomes worse. You don't get any mark for labeling. Okay, so the logic is this: if you draw a structure which is not needed, but you don't label that structure, you get marks for labeling but no marks for drawing. If you label a structure, you have drawn it and you have labeled it when it is not needed, then you don't get any mark, because you have drawn it and you have labeled it again, then you don't get any marks. Okay, so if it takes reading a question, whether 5 times, whether, then read the question enough times. Then we have magnification. We have what is accuracy and neatness. These are just same things. Magnification, it is times, not mg. Times 1. Don't say mg times 1. No, don't do that. Don't say 1 times. Don't say write cartoon x and then some big. So it is times 1. Should be at the same level. We emphasize this in neatness. It should be neat. Don't overrub. Don't overrub. Try to be as accurate as possible. Okay? Now that one is dissection. Then with physiology, now here you do with physiology. And anything can appear. Anything can appear as far as physiology is concerned. And this one is wide. This one is wide. Can do food tests, we can do enzymes, we can do plants. You study the physiology of plants, you can do osmosis, you can do catalase activity, you can do effect of heat on enzymes. So physiology is wide. It is as wide as the whole of biology, in fact. So they can pick a question from any of biology concepts that you've studied. So basically that is what you are going for. That's how it is. And so you need to get prepared. You need to tie your laces so that you cruise your marathon. Okay?